And Georgetown, great school. You're going to be happy. You're going to have a nice life. So congratulations. It's a big thing, and I'm very happy for you. Okay. So basically, I wanted to introduce Denise because she has been accepted to Georgetown. Okay. And we have now students who apply for Georgetown and who get in. They apply either for the MBA or for the Masters in Management. Basically, Andres and Marta don't know what you're interested in, but you can both try the Master in Management or the MBA depending on your age. Okay. We'll see the advantage of Georgetown. First of all, very reputable university in the US, in a nice city. It's in Washington, and of course, the university has a very large network and great recognition in the US. Okay, it's a Jesuit university, by the way. Alors, Denise, can you tell us more about yourself, Denise?
Sure. First, good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining and wanting to know a little bit more about my journey. About myself, I'm 33 years old. I have almost 10 years of experience, and I'm going to tell you my journey. It's not that common as the ones as I heard of other applicants. So I hope I can help you a little bit, of you guys. I'm an industrial engineer. I worked 7 years in a big multinational corporate here in Peru, Belcorp, which is a company that do beauty products. Then I moved to a family business, which is a technology consulting business. Right there, I have so much opportunity to grow and to lead more projects and everything. And I'm still there, but I already resigned like this month. But when I was during COVID, I started a business, a little business about furniture, which looks to solve a problem. At least here in Peru, we have we live in departments like there are like small. So I started that business like to try something else. I mean, I still was working at this consultant, but I started this. This helped me. That's what I was telling you. And then last year, I think in June, July, I I knew that it was time for me to get an MBA. You know, it was really fast. I thought that I was like late to do this choice because I knew they have to have so many requirements first, and the Gmat was the big one for me and a little bit difficult. So I don't know if Dr. Hubert are still like with this story, or maybe you want something else to tell.
Yes, you will tell us more, but so basically, Denise, I have a question to ask you about you. So have you grown in Lima, or where are you from exactly?
Yes, I'm from Lima, Peru. Yes, I'm from Lima.
You're from Lima, Peru. Okay, very good. By the way, Xenia, can you ask Gabriel to come? Tell him that you would like him to attend. You're from Lima, Peru. And so why have you decided to study industrial engineering? Why not business? Because now you're doing an MBA. Why not business directly after your high school diploma?
Because I always knew that I want to do an MBA. I mean, I didn't know when. I have that in one of my dreams. I knew that I want to do an MBA in the United States. That was what I know. I maybe like didn't know when, but I want to do that because I at least for my family, yeah, you know, when you have some family members that study in the United States and in the MBA, they always tell you that it's the best choice that you can do. You can go to work in great companies. I have even like 2 friends that went already into Duke. I talked to them. One of them was working at Google. I have another family member that was working at financial. I don't remember.
Financial company.
I don't remember the name, but
JP Morgan. Yeah.
Yes, the JP Morgan, I think. Yes, but
Morgan,
so yes, so I was really like, I knew that I want that. I knew that I at least try because I knew that I was maybe a little late, but I knew that I have to take that risk, and I have the opportunity. I have the help with my family that pay. I mean, I have to do that. So yes, that's a little bit about me. It was more like a dream and a goal that I want to do.
Okay, so of course it's it's very good. And tell me, have you volunteered? Have you supported causes, Denise? Because we know that leadership is very important. So what do you do in your free time? Do you support causes? What are your hobbies exactly?
Can you repeat that?
What are the causes? Do you volunteer for some causes? Do you have like kids, animals, fight
Okay,
against
okay, okay. I can
poverty? I
understand
don't
you.
know.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
volunteers. Yes. This was something that it was really important to at least Georgetown. The person that interviewed me, that at the end says like you're a total match. Yes, I like your profile. Like you show me that you have that something that wants to help everyone else. We are looking to persons like that. And I had a really difficult background as a child because my mother comes from a difficult little town in the hills of Peru. She had me when she has 17 years old, so you can imagine. And we came to Lima, like a you know. She didn't have much money, whatever. So I I have helped during my childhood with a totally different person. Like it's like my second mother. She appeared like in my life and helped me very much. So I'm a person that is really grateful about everything that has. I know that I'm really blessed because when I look back and I compare myself maybe to my cousins or some other families, I have a really blessing uh, journey. So I participate in many volunteers here in Peru. One is called maybe Voluntades, which helps to abandoned children to enhance their skills in school. I also participate in pet shelters, dog shelters, and Milagros Perunos, one is called. So I participate. I was the godmother of one of the pets. So yes, I really want to be involved. Maybe not like in my 10 years of professional experience, but yes, maybe like in 3-4 years of that. Yes, I was and I am. So that's what I also put in my CV, and
Okay.
that's what also they asked me.
Okay. Very good. So basically, Andres, you have a question for Denise about her background before we ask her about why Georgetown and the school she has applied to.
Well,
Hello,
my main
Andres?
question, yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, there's quite a buzz around me. Sorry. My main question would be, when do you realize that even though you might not be within the range of age that they might be interested in, you said you're 23 years old. You said, right? And
Yes.
that for some schools that might be a little bit late. How did you overcome that decision, that or that idea of being a little bit late? And how did they take it during the application process? Did they tell you that it was a little bit too late, or were they okay with the age? That would be my main question.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So tell me.
Andres. Thank you for the question. Yes, that was difficult actually. But at my age, you go through many phases in your life when
You,
you're
you,
like
you
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 don't
don't you
feel.
don't look 33, huh, Denise? Huh? You look 22.
Thank
Huh?
you,
Okay.
thank you. The light. So
I would have never guessed that you're 33. Okay, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was not my first time like having these moments of feeling insecure, a little insecure. So I tried to look at it like that, like it's a moment of being insecure. I look at the profiles. I think that the the range, it was like 28. I the middle age was 28, 29 about the universities I applied. So I thought like, well, 3 years more, well, it's not that bad because I'm in the range. So I didn't, I was like a little less, maybe like not comfortable, but I think it was not that bad. I saw many webinars about the universities I applied. I applied to Duke, I applied to UT Texas, McCombos, and Georgetown. And when they talk about that the age and everything, and I asked them, they say, don't worry, you just apply. We have like a person like 30, 39, 40, you don't worry about the age. They were very clear about that. They were like, we don't even look the age. I don't know if they were telling the truth or not, but I was like, okay, I believe you. So I went with that. And when I had the interviews, the age was no issue at all. They didn't ask me what to all. They asked you why now you think is the right moment. So I think that I answered that well because in Duke and UT Texas, I was I get a wait list. I didn't want to wait. That's what I discard those. I want to know that the answer now. So, but yes, I think I did a good job in those two. And that's it. I just explained that this was the best time for me. That before, no, because I have another goals to reach. No, like working in a small company, like working in a big company, working in a small company, doing my company, and then okay, I need something greater than that. So that
Well,
was
thank
it.
you. Thank you very much for answering the question. I think your experience with the why now question is very helpful, not just to focus
Yes.
on the age, but that why now, why in this time of one's career. Thank you very much. And thanks, Dr. Hubert.
So of course, it's a very important thing that you have to know is that imagine that for your information, I have a student who has graduated from Yale 2 years ago. His name is Kamel, and he was born in 1972. So he's 50 years old. Okay, so if you calculate, he started Yale when he was 46. Okay, so of course there are programs that can take you. You have other type of programs. There's something called Sloan Fellow. Okay, the Sloan Fellow programs are given by MIT and Stanford, and it's a mid-career program. Okay, but what I want to say is that the most important, it's Denise is going to spend a lot of money, and she's far from being stupid, so she knows what she's doing. If she has decided to quit her job, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars at Georgetown, she knows what she's doing. Okay, so basically they have a look at the profile and say, okay, this person is sensible. If she comes here, she knows what she has to do. And then, of course, she has been very busy. Of course, imagine that you're 33, you have spent the last 5 years unemployed. It's okay. But if you have been growing, etc. So basically, and they want people like you in the MBA program. So basically, there will be people who are 25, most likely, like different MBA students. There will be people like Denise, who are 33, and they will work together. And that's, by the way, what you have in the company. Huh? So it's not a problem. And of course, Denise will apply for different jobs. She's not going to apply to be an analyst at Accenture, of course. Okay, probably she wants to be an entrepreneur, or she wants to work in private equity. She wants to have a more mature role in a company. Okay. You see, Andres, the problem is that it's not a problem for the MBA. The only problem is to say that when she finishes, she's 35, and they want to know. They know that there are some companies that will not take her. She will not fit in associate jobs in consulting. So they just know that it's a bit more difficult for her to fit in the job offer given to the MBA student. Then it means that she will have to have more coaching, more follow-up. She has to develop her network. It will be slightly different because she's not in the range of what of the job that are offered at career days at Georgetown. Okay, but Denise, okay, that you're going to have to develop your own network. It will be a different story for you because when I am, I don't know, a McKinsey recruiter, I'm looking for senior associates. Will be senior associates for 1 year, and then after 1 year will become engagement manager. Okay, so basically Denise, then she will be hired as an engagement manager. Okay, and she has to be convincing to start as an engagement manager. Okay, that's it. Okay, So basically, they know it's a bit more challenging to find jobs. Okay, if tomorrow a recruiter comes to an MBA fair and there are only people who are between 32 and 35, we will talk to the school and say, look, what's the point? But they need diversity anyway. Huh? Okay. So let's continue. So basically, Denise, as you know, as you can hear, you have a French accent. People who are here are mainly from Spain. Many of the students that were in Europe study at HEC, IAC, INSEAD, LBS. So why the US? Is it because in Peru, people value US education more, or because you have contacts there, or you wanted a 2-year program? So why the US, Denise?
Well, I don't know much about Europe. I've been there just once, but yes, it's because I have 2 family members there. I travel like 15 times to United States, so yes, I know more about it, and I want to do United States. That was in my head like when I was like 16 years old. So yes, it was because of that.
Yeah, because of that. Huh? And of course, you have to understand, we come from Europe, but Denise, you have family in the US. You told us that you have family. You have uncles, cousins. Okay, so for you, it will be easier. You have uncles and cousins in Washington? You have family in Washington?
Yes, in Washington. I haven't even been to Washington before. Yes,
Okay.
but no, in Washington, no, nothing. So, but I have in Georgia and in Boston.
Okay,
Family
Georgia.
members.
Okay. So basically, you'll see, because I've been there several times, because me I studied on the East Coast. It's a very nice place. Not too big, not too small. Near Virginia. It's a nice place to be. You will really enjoy, because it's not as big as New York, but of course not a small city like Ithaca, Cornell, or New Haven, etc. So it's and of course it's very international, because you have a lot of diplomats, etc. in Washington. So you see, it's a very international city, and the weather is pretty nice. Okay, it's not like Chicago, basically. I'm sure that you'll enjoy your time. Now, basically,
Yes.
when we started to work together, we have chosen Duke, UT McCombs, and McDonough, Georgetown. So why these 3, Denise? Why these 3
Why?
schools? Why not Berkeley, UCLA,
Oh,
Yale? Yeah.
yes. I remember when we first met. I told you like another universities, maybe a little bit more competitive ones. Since I told you, I start preparing really late. Really, I start preparing like. I think that the first time I went in touch with you guys was in October, November of last year, and the second round was in the first 5 of January. So it was a little late. And I have to know how to move my moves. I have to be smart. And when I told you like my background and the phase that I was in Gmat, like at that time my mocks was in, guys, I never like studied before the Gmat, and I'm an engineer, so I felt like it wouldn't be that difficult. When I started the mocks, I was like in the 500s, so I was like panicking, but I was like saying like, well, it was like September, up until December, I woke up like 700. I felt that, but and when we have our at first meeting, you told me, well, go with the Gmat, but if you don't we do well, we can do the executive assessment. So I say, well, we can do that. But when I did my last like the last mock, I didn't get the score that I want. I was start panicking, and I talk to you, and you say, okay, let's change the strategy and look for the universities that accept the executive assessment. So that's what I did. That the best ones that accept the executive assessment that I want. So that was my list. Duke, McCombs, Georgetown accept the executive assessment. So I went for it.
Yes, you are right. So basically, that's something that I have to tell you, is that if I see that I feel that student will not be at ease, with the Gmat, and we did that. So, for instance, we had the same issue with a girl called Federica, for instance, who is now studying at NYU. She's one of Kevin's students. So basically, what I will do is I will try to select schools that accept both the GMAT and the EA. Okay. Usually, what I do, I will choose Columbia, because Columbia accepts the GMAT and the EA. NYU, because they accept the GMAT and the EA. Duke, for the same reason. Cornell, that may. Macomb, and Georgetown. So I know that I have 6 of the top 20 in my list, which is good. Okay. And usually we do pretty well. Okay. So for instance, there's another student. She's not there today. There's Claudia, for instance, and she had the same point with the GMAT, but she scored 164 on the EA, which is equivalent of 730 on the GMAT. And I'm pretty confident that she will get Columbia. Okay. And there are other ways to optimize. So you can ask, for instance, for those who are interested in Columbia, you can ask for the early decision. So to give you an idea, last year, you had a guy who scored 640 on the GMAT. Okay, the guy was dyslexic, Joao, his name is from Portugal. And he switched to the GMAT, to the EA, he got 160, and he applied early decision. Okay, now he got Columbia. So 640 Columbia, not bad. To give you an idea, I had people rejected this year with 730. So it's a good approach. So basically, we have to be we have to strategize, okay, and say which steps do we take. And it was a good idea, Denise, to take the thing. Okay. So basically, happen. So then Duke and UT, you got waitlisted. Okay. Have you asked to stay on the waitlist, or once you have been accepted to Georgetown, you have said, no, I take Georgetown because I don't want to be waitlisted? What happened to you?
Yes. At first I didn't take my combos because I like it, but it was, if I was waitlisted, I didn't want to go to the process. I stayed a little bit with Duke until I think what I'm going to do. But like a couple of weeks later, I decided no, Georgetown, because I started talking to the students. I have a Peruvian there. I met a Peruvian that was in Georgetown, a Brazilian person. So when I was really worried about the internships, about the companies that they are recruiting with Georgetown. Well, not that worried, but I want to make sure that they are great companies, the same as the other universities. So the 2 persons that I talked to, they are actually in IT. That's like the industry that I want to be in, IT, technology. And one of them worked at Google, had an internship in Google, and the other one in Amazon. So that was like, okay, that was for me. And I talked to them. They talked me more about Georgetown, the community, and I was feeling so much comfortable about it. So I took the decision. Okay, I stay with Georgetown. That was it.
So anyway, in terms of ranking, it's pretty much the same. It's true that Duke is a bit more known, but what I see is that Georgetown is really a school that is picking up. I have a lot of interest for Georgetown. Basically, the school that I see declining is Yale. Claudia is there. She will explain to us her situation. Yale is declining. I find that Cornell a bit as well. I find that the Tech is declining a lot. UVA is declining a lot. Okay, but Georgetown, you see, Denise, it's a good bet because the school is picking up. Okay, and for many reasons, but basically East Coast, the fact that they have now a lot of programs, I can't really explain, and the perception is pretty positive. Claudia, you have also taken, you're one of Kevin's students. You're based in Cuba, okay? Claudia, can you explain to us the reason why you have decided to switch from the GMAT to the EA? Claudia?
Yeah, sure.
Nice to see you. So Claudia is based in Cuba, which is one of Kevin's students. Yeah.
So basically, I was not able to take a break from work, and I'm a senior manager now, so I'm pretty busy. And I started studying the GMAT like in October last year, but I was trying to compatibilize that with work, and I was trying to study like every day, a couple of hours, and during the weekends. But I realized that that actually was not enough. Like maybe taking some time off if you are planning to study for the GMAT is a good idea. And I was not able to do. I decided in my first meeting with Dr. Hubert and my coach that maybe trying the executive was a good approach. And it was actually a great approach. Like I just signed up for like 4 exams in the official MBA.com page, and I realized that everything that I had studied for the GMAT was very useful, of course, in the verbal and quant area. And then when the integrated reasoning part was really easy for me, since I'm a consultant, I'm really used to like analyze data very quickly. So it was a really easy thing for me to prepare for that. So I didn't really have to study much for executive assessment. I just did like 4 exams at home. And in the first exam, given everything that I had studied for the GMAT, I had a pretty good mark. And I just increased it by 2-3 points every exam I did, reaching, I think, 174 in the last exam I did. So I knew I was prepared. But yeah, so, and yeah.
So what
basically,
you have to see, what you have to see, sorry, to interrupt you, Claudia, is that you see if you prepare the GMAT, you're going to see, I'm sure that you experience the same thing, Denise. You score a certain score at home, and you can have like 100 points difference on the GMAT. It's because of the algorithm that makes the test very unstable. Okay. The EA test is not adaptive. So basically, the score that you get at home is the score that you get the day of the test, which is, believe me, a big difference. Okay. And I'm sure that some of you have already taken the GMAT. I know some of the students here who tell me, I don't understand, I score 700 at home and I get 620 the day of the test. On the EA, it won't happen. If you score 160 at home, you score 160 unless you freak out. Okay. So yes, so that's something very important. And thanks to that, Claudia is going to be able to apply to 2 dream schools, okay, among others that are NYU and Columbia. So basically, it's very important that you have to see that the EA and the GMAT are basically very similar. Okay, the only difference is that on the EA you don't have geometry, and the integrated reasoning part is part of the test. It's part of the scoring, whereas on the GMAT, the integrated reasoning section is not part of the scoring. Okay. What else do you want to say, Claudia, regarding the EA and the strategy to switch from the GMAT to the EA? Hello?
Yeah, no, I was just mentioning that it would be a very different case if you haven't prepared at all for GMAT. Like I was lucky that I had some months to prepare for the GMAT, and then switching to the EA was really, really easy for me. But for someone that hasn't studied like nothing for the GMAT, I guess they will have to follow a different approach that I did.
Yes, exactly. So basically, what you have to see is that you have very little material available for the EA. You only have you have a software with 200 questions and 4 tests, which is not enough. Okay, but if you have practice on the GMAT, and then the last month you use the EA material, it's very good. You get a good score. Okay. How much time did you spend on the EA, Denise? 1 month?
A week,
1 month.
a week and a half. I don't know. I remember that I didn't have too much time. Yes, yes. I bought just like a mock, and that was his. Yes, because I have a deadline. It was like in 5 of January.
Yes, so basically you didn't have much time. Alors, basically, the student may wonder themselves that is DEA, how is the perception of DEA? The same as of the GMAT, okay? So basically what happened is that before DEA was a test for executive MBAs, and during the COVID, as you know, 2 things have happened. Some schools have decided to give Gmat waivers, Michigan, Boston University, give Gmat waivers. Another school have said, okay, if you can give us any test, we'll be happy with the test. Okay, so they have decided to accept the EA that was already accepted by the business school, by the executive programs. Okay, so they know the test, and at some stage they were so desperate about getting some type of score because, as you know, the Gmat centers have closed for like 3 months in 2020, and they say, any test will be all right, as long as we know the test. So basically, in the US, they accept the GMAT, the GRE, and the EA. And as you know, the GMAT is the most difficult of the three. Huh? Okay, cool. But the GMAT is also a very good preparation. So, and basically, but now there's a question is that the EA is only accepted by US universities and some US universities. For instance, Harvard does not accept the EA, Stanford does not accept the EA. So some of them, there are about 30 universities in the US that accept the EA. Usually, the 6 that we pick up, as I told you, it's always Columbia, NYU, Duke, Cornell, UT, Macomb, and Georgetown, because we know that they are in the top 20. They are pretty well ranked. You, Claudia, you're going to apply to which school? So I know that there is Columbia, NYU, and what are the others that you have in mind?
Yeah, so I'm applying for full-time MBA, Columbia, and NYU. Then I'm applying for this Sloan Fellow program in Stanford and MIT. And then I'm sure that I will be applying for UVA. And then we are, well, I'm waiting with my coach for until the month of June, more or less, when Michigan bros, we will have a clear picture whether Michigan is accepting Gmat waivers. So yeah, basically those 5 schools, and then we'll see with Michigan.
Okay, so now with Gmat waivers, it depends. Now let's continue, Denise. Alors, according to you, why has Georgetown accepted you? Why have you been accepted by Georgetown? Why have they decided to give you an offer?
Why do I think?
Yeah, no, but why has Georgetown be convinced by your profile, according to you?
In Georgetown and in my campus, you have to do a video in your part of your essays. You can choose do a video or do an essay, or do a write essay. So I did a video. It wasn't that great. I liked it. When I compared it to some of the ones that I see in YouTube, I thought that I did well. But I share about my, since Georgetown is a Jesuit university, I didn't know, I didn't do it for that, but I tell my story, like as a child, where I come from, and what did I study, that I participate. I forgot to mention this. I am a member of a group called Women CEO Peru. That is a woman that get her up to enhance skills. We seek for equality in the women's positions. So I mentioned that, and I mentioned that I my work and everything. So I think that I might show a bit more about myself. I can share you my video essay if you want that, so you can share it to them. But I show that I want to give back to my community. I want to give back to the world, all that I have the blessing to have. And when I have the interview, they told me. They told me that I can feel that you want to make a difference. I can feel that you want to give back, and that's what we want. That we want that kind of persons. I mean, they didn't focus that much on my work, my experience. They focus on me as a person. So I think that make a difference.
Yes, basically. So since I followed you and I know you, so I would say that basically you fit pretty well in what they want. And for all of you being here, that's something that you really have to listen carefully, because it's very important. Basically, they want 2 things. They want people who can fit in, people who have the right level of education, the GMAT or DEA, who are international, etc., who have leadership, okay? But it's not enough, okay? And then they want a difference, okay? They want to feel that you're different on some way. And Denise, because of your professional background, because of what you have done outside your career, that's something that they like. And also, basically, South America is a place where the US are pretty influential. and they need South American because they need to somehow, how can I say, to, because it's a neighboring country, it's a neighboring continent, if you want. So basically, they also want to train the elite of these countries because they can stay there, they can go back to America. So that it has to do also with economic and cultural collaboration between the two. That's why they are very keen on dating students from these countries. Basically, are you now in contact? So you're going to leave, what, in 2 months? When will you leave? Late July, something like that? Huh? Okay. So,
I have to be there 29th of July. That we have our reunion and stuff like that, and we start class at 1st of August.
So you start pretty soon. So basically, you're going to leave Peru late June. Huh? You're going to spend what, July? No, or you will because you need to
Middle of July. Middle of July.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all that to tell you that it goes pretty fast. Huh? You have to understand. So basically, me, I understand I have a student who got an acceptance in April because he applied to the last round. No, even to the second round. I don't know. He got in April, and he said that he will come to visit us in Europe, and basically he's going to start with Fordham, and classes at Fordham start mid-July. Okay. Can you imagine? So the guy had like 3 months to get the financing, the visas, resign. So it goes pretty fast. That's why I suggest that you apply to the first one or even to the second one, because after that, it's very, very cumbersome to manage the process. Yes, Claudia, you have a question, Claudia?
Yeah. I just have a brief question regarding the visas. As you had like so little time between when you got accepted and the time that you have to join Georgetown, are you having problems like getting all the visas sorted out in 3 months, or it's a pretty easy process?
Yes, it's not that I have problems. I think the process that they takes long. I submit my first documents. We first have to submit to the OGS, that is a department in Georgetown that makes sure that we have all the papers ready. So then the university gives us an I-20, and then we go to the embassy to present that, and then we have then we have the visa. So I'm in the middle of the 2 first steps. I already present my papers. They have an observation in one of them. Like they just show me like in Thursday. So I'm a little bit panicking. But when I talk to these friends there that I have already there, they told me this. You don't panic about the papers, as long as you have all the papers together, as long as you have the date of your appointment in the embassy. It doesn't matter if they give you like in November or whatever. You can I think there's another type of appointment when you have so little time. You can like have
Express
it.
visa. It's an
Yes,
express visa.
you can have
Okay.
it before. So she told me that don't worry about it, Denise. Just make sure to have all your papers for your appointment, and then they will find you a spot. Don't worry. So I'm like kind of okay right now.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something to consider, because right now all U.S. embassies around the world are packed, and
Yes.
even to get a tourist visa, it takes like 1 year, or they give you an appointment 1 year and ahead. So I was kind of worried about that. But thank you.
Mhm.
That's why it's important. You see, Claudia, if you apply this fall, you get an answer by November or December.
Yeah,
You still have like
yeah.
7-8 months to process. But when people say, yes, it's not a problem, but because in reality, you have to be now in America mid-July, and classes start usually early October, August, which is when I went to the US, it was different. Classes will start in September. So they start a bit ahead of time. Tell me, John. I know that we know each other. You have a question, John? John Cordova? Hello? John? Hello? Is he with us? Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah,
Dr.
hello, John.
Hubert.
You have a question for
Hello
us?
to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah,
Well,
of course.
first of all, thank you, Denise, for all the information that you just give to us. by the moment, I don't have any more questions. Claudia did just wonderful questions about the visa and all the stuff that I also had questions about. So by the moment, I just want to say thank you, Denise, for all the information, and I wish to the other guys, to the other students, all the best. I think that we just have to continue to be constant, right? And at the end, we are going to make it.
John, where are you from, John? Where are you from?
Sorry?
Where are you from? You from Spain or from South America? Where are
I
you
am from Peru.
From
Peru as
okay.
well.
Yeah, because we work together. Your name is familiar to me. So basically, it's of course it's very important. And also, what you have to see from Denise, she didn't do well on the GMAT. We found an opportunity with the EA. She was a bit late. We have still been able to apply. So basically, it can be organized. Now, of course, we are in May. You want probably to start next year. So maybe we should do differently. We should try to be ready beforehand. I agree, Denise. Maybe let's try to go a bit faster than that. Okay. All of you. So basically, all of you who are here, I would suggest that you get your GMAT at the latest mid-July. Okay. So that we have until we have like 2 months to apply. Okay, because the first application are early September. Okay. So that's what I would advise you. If you miss this opportunity, then you will apply for January. Okay. Marta, you're from Spain, from what you told me. So Marta, you have a question for us? Marta? Hello, Marta? Marta? Don't be shy. Marta? I thought that you will have a question. So, Claudia, you have been, I know that you have been talkative today. You have another question to ask to Denise?
Well, actually, I have a general question because I'm right now in the process of preparing for the English test. And here in Cuba, I'm trying to do it by myself, but I would like to have a teacher, just to refresh some ideas, have someone that I can interact with. And here in Cuba, they don't really prepare for the TOEFL. They do a lot of preparation for the Ielts. So I have an open question to everyone here in the call today. Has anyone done the Ielts and the TOEFL, and does anyone have any idea of whether one is better than the other or easier than the other, or I don't know, just like a general question?
Basically, you see, Claudia, the IELTS is easier than the TOEFL, and if you can first prepare the IELTS through the British Council, I suggest that you do so. And we have MBA Center with the IELTS platform, so we give you access. Can you ask Maria that she gives you access to the IELTS platform? So if you do the IELTS platform plus the thing, because what is good with the IELTS is that you have 2 formats, and you have a paper-based format and a computer-based format. And the paper-based format is easier. You talk to a person, so it's easier to deal with. Okay, because it's always difficult to take the test on the computer. I don't know if you agree. It's easier on paper. Okay, so I suggest that you go for the IELTS and you prepare with the British Council and you ask Maria to help you. So usually what they want on the IELTS, they want 7.5 and a minimum of 7 in each section. Okay, so get 7.5 and a minimum. But in terms of process so you have the same section as on the GMAT. Okay, as on the TOEFL, same section. Okay. By the way, the new TOEFL that was re-engineered in 2006 is a copy of the IELTS. Okay, let's say that, but computerized.
Okay, great.
Denise, what are ask Maria to help you. So Denise, what are the piece of advice that you like to give to students applying in experience?
First, don't. I start a little bit that I told you. Take your time to do your essays. Yes, I remember when I started with Kishan, my coach. He was excellent. I recommend him. So when you do your first version, you usually change it. So it's like 3 to 4 days. So like each essay, at least for me. So take your time because I think the university wants to know you. So it's one of the big pieces that you have, guys, to communicate who you are and if you're a good fit for them. And if you have the choice to do a video essay, I suggest that you do, because our body language have so much to tell that a piece of paper. So that, and don't lose hope, because when you go to the process, you sometimes doubt about yourself, that if it's the right time, if I do it right now, but just go. If you already took the decision, just go. Yes, just do it. That will be.
So anyway, see, Denise, you have a lot of charisma. So of course, when you have a lot of charisma like Denise, you can have a video essay. But it's of course it's very important that you go for it. Any question from one of you? Any question? Now today it was a very South American atmosphere, of Spanish South American. It was a Spanish atmosphere today, and I'm very happy to see that. By the way, don't forget, Andres, if we have not met yet, Marta, that they will be in Madrid next Saturday and Monday to meet students. Okay, so have a good day. Thank you very much, Denise, for all your support.